Greetings once again, fellow ninja. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with more Naruto. Sasuke's story, the Uchiha and the Heavenly Stardust. I still do not understand what Heavenly Stardust is in this instance. Is that what the cure is called? Is that what Zansul, the prison leader, is looking for? Time will tell. But yes, you heard me right. Prison leader. Sasuke has come to a distant land to defeat the enemy Aku. Look for a cure for Naruto's unknown sickness, a similar sickness that the Sage of Six Paths once had, that he found the cure in this very land Sasuke has traveled to. But the only hint that Sasuke has to go on is the nearby prison, run by the ever-creepy warden Zansul, and, well, interestingly enough, his pet velociraptor, Mano. Sasuke is trying his best to be as discreet as possible, but when he ended up coming face to face with the vicious guard dog Mano, he found that his Sharingan did not work on the creature, and unable to put the creature into a genjutsu, he struck back, violently harming the beast, only for it to be perfectly fine the next day, and Zansul knowing that it was Sasuke who injured his creature. And when Sasuke went to try to hypnotize Zansul, he discovered something shocking. Zansul could not be hypnotized, as false eyes cannot take in the Sharingan's information. Zansul continues to be more and more odd with every passing moment, and the finesse that Sasuke has been trying to use to find what he's looking for is turning out to be more and more of a detriment. What'll happen next? Join me as I find out, won't you? We pick up with Sasuke's startling realization as he thinks to himself as he looks into Zansul's eyes. He has glass eyes? Which really raises the question of how does he see? Then again, people swap out eyeballs like light bulbs in this universe, so it could be any number of procedures that allows him to see through glass eyes. As Zansul turns to leave, he tells Sasuke, "You've been warned, but if this is how you'd prefer to do things, I will respond in kind. Look forward to that." Sasuke's cellmate Gigi, later when everyone's working outside, hears the guards apparently wailing on Sasuke. And yet for some reason while Sasuke's being beat up, the guard seems a little bit worse for wear. As Sasuke gives the guard a bit of a glare, the guard says, "Don't give me that look. If you have something to say, then say it," as the guard continues to lay into Sasuke. And when Sasuke hits the ground, the guards walk away saying, "Now get back to work." I see what he was going for. He noticed that the guard's shirt was a little bit untucked, so he went for whatever he had in it. And what the guard had, Sasuke lies on the ground, having obtained, is the black band that you can put around your hands, showing that you're allowed to go out late at night. Back in the cell, Gigi talks to Sasuke saying, "You had one hell of a day, huh?" As he continues to play the dice. Sasuke brushes it off saying, "Nothing I can't handle." Panzilla wants to know, why'd the guards decide to make you their latest punching bag? But as Gigi manages to get a high score, he proclaims, "Yes, I win! Eat that, Panzilla!" Panzilla says, "You must have cheated." But old man Gano, who continues to paint his nails, says, "He must have got on the director's bad side." Gigi and Panzilla go silent towards this comment as Sasuke remembers Zansul's words. Look forward to that. Panzilla says, "I bet it's 'cause Sasuke's so much prettier than him." Hey, not wrong. Gigi says, "Yeah, the director's got more pride than he knows what to do with." Later that night, we see Sasuke awaken, ready to do his due. And while Gigi wakes up in pain from his hand, he notices that Sasuke is gone. He questions, where's he sneak off to in the dead of night? Sheesh. As Gigi hears the guard approaching, he thinks to himself, great, now the guard's coming. This is gonna be bad. As the guard gets near, Gigi goes up to the bars, telling him, "Excuse me, sir." He shows the guard his hand, saying, "I got some burst blisters, see? Can't sleep because of the pain. Please, you gotta let me go to the infirmary." The guard observes his hand and says, "Fine, if you have to, take a cloth pass with you." But as the guard looks into his uniform for the pass and can't find it, he says, I swear I had one here. Of course, we see Sasuke took it earlier as he walks through the hall with the cloth pass around his hand. He hears a rustling in one of the nearby cabinets, and as Sasuke goes to investigate, he finds a guy all tied up, bound and gagged. As Sasuke unties the person and asks, "How did you get in there?" The guy shakily says, "I was coming back from the bathroom when some of the old hands jumped question me. Sasuke realizes bullies then and asks him, "Where's your cloth pass?" The guy tells Sasuke they took it. Sasuke, being the good guy he is, says, "Put this on you and get back to your cell," as he hands him his cloth pass. When the guy questions this, You're giving me yours?" Sasuke simply says, "It's fine. Just do as I say." The man puts on the cloth pass and rushes back quickly, but in an instant, Meno is already behind Sasuke. Sasuke sighs to himself. "I just can't catch a break today." Meno goes in for a swipe, but Sasuke manages to duck underneath it. Sasuke once again tries to use his Sharingan on Meno's eyes, but to no avail, as Meno uses Tail Whip. Sasuke avoids it by leaping into the air, and as he lands he says, "That settles it. Genjutsu doesn't work." But before he can think once again, Meno is already going in for another strike. Sasuke just barely manages to dodge underneath, with Meno just only barely managing to nick Sasuke's face, but a nick is still a bad thing. But Sasuke catches sight of Meno's underbelly, and he thinks to himself, "The stomach wound I gave it yesterday is gone. That's an impressive healing ability." Or maybe it switched out with a different lizard. Both kind of what I assumed. It's just like, those are the only real two options. Sasuke pulls out a summoning scroll, and as he unfurls it, he gets back his super cool sword. But as Sasuke gets it at the ready, Meno does not approach. Sasuke thinks to himself, "What is it doing? Why isn't it closing in on me? Oh no. Oh no." Suddenly Sasuke feels dizzy. "Dude, I think the claws are poisoned." Sasuke finds himself completely unsteady on his feet. He has to hold on to the wall just to keep steady. He thinks to himself, "What's happening to me?" But Meno, he's going in for the strike. Thankfully, thanks to Sasuke's instincts, he's able to duck underneath Meno's swipe. But as Meno gets ready to strike again, Sasuke is gone. Meanwhile, back with Gigi and the guard, Gigi asks, "What's the problem?" The guard continues to look for the cloth pass and says, "Just shut up a minute. Where'd it go? I had one." But he tells Gigi, "Whatever, follow me." Gigi says sure thing as he follows the guard, and he thinks to himself nervously, "You owe me big time, Sasuke." Elsewhere, Sasuke is desperately trying to shuffle through the hall, holding himself by just leaning on the wall as best he can. Sasuke thinks to himself, Meno's claws are probably coated with a toxin. I must have gotten at me then. But then he hears someone approaching from behind. He thinks to himself, I'm in for it now. So he readies his Sharingan, his only real line of defense. But then an unknown person hovers his one eye and tells him, "Relax now, I've got you." Sasuke realizes and thinks to himself, I know that. And he turns to see his wife Sakura. As we had heard last chapter, there was a new nurse at the premise, and the description kind of matched Sakura to a certain degree. As I said before, I'm actually really interested in seeing how this plays out with the two of them. Like, a Sasuke-Sakura mission? Like, how well can they work together? This might be incredible. Or it might double down on the opinion that Sakura is useless. It's unfortunate because she's gotten into some really cool fight. As Sasuke sees Sakura's face, he immediately passes out. Damn girl, you so fine you knocked him out. Sasuke wakes up in the infirmary, lying in one of the beds surrounded by a curtain. As Sakura pulls back the curtain, she asks him, how are you feeling? Sasuke questions, why are you here, Sakura? What about Sarada? Immediately also wonders about his child. He does care. As Sakura puts a plate with some food on a nearby table, she informs him, Sarada is doing a homestay with Master Iruka, and I'm here to tell you about a change in the mission. Give me your arm. This startles Sasuke as he questions, a change? What change? Sakura informs him, I was on my way here when Shikamaru's hawk delivered a message to me. Master Kakashi found a book in the capital that tells of the Sage of Six Paths' illness. Looks like Sakura hooked up she took some of Sasuke's blood. I didn't even realize she was doing that before. And hooked up, I think, an IV to his arm. Interesting. Or did she just take his blood and then that's the thing that was used to keep the pressure on the arm? I can't really tell from the angle. Regardless, she tells him, he copied down the relevant section. She reaches into her coat and takes out a piece of paper, telling him to take a look as she hands it over to him. As Sasuke reads it, he reads, wasting away from a curious illness, the Sage of Six Paths had to attend the land of Ridaku, and thus did meet the astronomer Tartar on his path. One evening, Tartar espied a meteor approaching the land. The Sage of Six Paths split the fallen meteor in twain. Oh man, that's literally just Naruto the Last. Like, Sasuke's just like, big whoop, I've done that before. The letter continues. A bright light spilled forth from the halved meteorite. Instantly, the sage was freed of his illness for many years. The meteor presented him with blessed strength, the source of which Tartar named Ultra Particles. Okay, that's the heavenly Stardust. Sasuke tells Sakura, it sounds like the cure for the Sage of Six Paths illness was meteor fragments they called ultra particles. Sakura explains, according to this text, the sage separated the particles into two groups. He hid one group in the sky that fell to earth, and the other in the star that never strayed. Sasuke continues to read, and any who would seek out this power must reveal with the map of the heavens. Or revel with the map of the heavens? Sakura tells Sasuke, too many S names. We think Naruto's illness is some sort of malfunction in his chakra channel. It probably happened because he took a tailed beast into his body, and maybe Tartar's so-called ultra particles had the power to heal his condition. So his disease is some sort of imbalance because of the amount of chakra he's using that's channeled from the tailed beast. I mean, he does use a greater amount than most would, so I guess some adverse reaction to that. Not too badly understandable. We always have these heroes who are just like, if you use this power, it'll halve your lifespan, and yada yada yada. This is actually a situation where it's just like, yeah, no, you using all that power actually has been hooking your body up, and you're paying with it over time. Hey, welcome to the adult world. Everything you do screws you over as you grow older. He says, and maybe Tartar's so-called ultra particles have the power to heal his condition. Sasuke simply states, we have to find those particles then. Sakura nods and then tells them, on that note, your new mission is to find the map of the heaven and obtain the ultra particles. Right, so first up we need to figure out what exactly the map of heavens even is. He says, I understand the change in mission, but that doesn't explain why you're here. Sakura simply says, I leave the village when I have to, you know. Sasuke tells her, you could have easily have sent a hawk with a message. She tells him, I did? But it never reached you. Sasuke questions, what? As he gets out of the bed. Sakura heads to the nearby window saying, I'm guessing that Menno chased it off. No outsiders allowed. That's the ironclad rule here, right? However, she opens the window, surprising Sasuke, and a hawk flies in with a cloth tassel around its neck. Ah, that's clever. Good, good. So she already managed to steal one herself. She says to Sasuke, give our friend this cloth pass, and it won't be treated like an intruder. She puts the vial of blood into the hawk's pack, saying, anyhow, I'm sending your blood sample back to Konoha. If you're vulnerable to this toxin, then it might be a native substance found only in this land. I mean, this is actually pretty good work by Sakura, showing her intellectual chops, as it were. But, of course, Sasuke says, Sakura, go back to the village. It's too dangerous here. He mostly says that because he's been taken off guard a few times here. He's just like, yeah, nah. This feels like a few things have been out of my hands. Of course, Sakura gets a little bit angry at this statement, saying dangerous, as if I can't handle myself. Sakura tells him, no, I don't doubt your strength, but I'm telling you that I can take care of this myself. Besides, there's something else going on behind this observatory. Ocular jutsus have no effect on the director or Menno. Sakura, damn it! Sakura folds her arms and says, all the more reason I should stay. If brute force alone won't carry you through this special mission, then you need a partner with you. Like I said before, it has to be handled with finesse. Again, he's not trying to destroy this place. It's an information gathering mission. You don't want to turn this place into a parking lot along with the cure for Naruto. Sasuke pauses and tells her, fine, have it your way, but don't put yourself in danger. Sakura smiles and says, I would never. Yeah, right. There's a sudden knock on the door, startling both of them. As it turns out, it's Gigi saying, Doc, you still up? Sakura closes the curtain to the bed, obviously hiding Sasuke, saying, Gigi, what can I do for you at this hour? Gigi walks over and says, my blister bursts. You mind taking a look? It hurts so bad I can't even sleep. Sakura motions him to the seat and says, sure, take a seat. I'll get the disinfectant. As Gigi sits down, he says, got any cigs, Doc? A good smoke is the best painkiller. Sakura sighs, saying, that's some question. What kind of infirmary do you think this is? And Gigi smiles and blushes and says, hey, I'd even settle for your old half-smoked bud. What a charming response. Sakura continues to dismiss this, saying, don't be ridiculous, just show me your hand. Sakura proceeds to apply the ointment. And Gigi continues with his small talk, saying, you're not from around here, right, Doc? Sakura questions, what makes you say that? Gigi says, I mean, I've never seen pink hair like yours before. So pretty. And like a total creep, he goes to try to touch her hair. And ooh, yep. Sasuke ain't having none of that as he grabs Gigi's arm. And Sakura, kind of sussing out this was going to play out, just sighs. And Gigi is just shocked to see Sasuke. It's one of those things where it's just like so many people can't get a read on Sasuke, but Sakura kind of knows what he's like by now. He might not act it, but he's just like, no, you don't touch my wife. One explanation later, Gigi says, huh? No way, you're telling me you and the doc are married? And you've been married this whole time? Sasuke says, I never said I wasn't married. Gigi says, yeah, well, guys like you, aren't usually the type to be married. I don't blame him for that. Like, come on, he's too handsome not to have settled with somebody. Well, if you're his old lady, why are you slumming it here as a doctor? Sakura nervously laughs and says, well, the thing is, I missed my Sasuke. A kind of believable statement. Since this isn't an ordinary prison, there aren't any visitations, right? But I simply had to see my Sasuke, so I got them to hire me on as a doctor. I'm actually kind of questioning how she got in as a doctor. And I guess her credentials probably were good, but more than likely forged to a certain degree to not say, from the Leaf Village. Gigi accepts this explanation, saying, well, hey, makes sense to me. Sakura breathes a sigh of relief, but Sasuke questions, it doesn't come as a shock. But Gigi snaps his fingers and says, what's to be shocked about? That's totally normal in my book. A husband and a wife are supposed to be together. Supposed to always be together. Gigi's a romantic, so I'm not surprised he would accept the explanation, Well, as the two of them head back to their cell, Gigi looks over and says, you got a cloth pass from the guard too, huh? Sasuke looks down at his cloth pass, and he remembers Sakura saying, take this, both of us need to keep out of trouble, as she tied a cloth pass around his hand too, before he and Gigi head back. Hey, all things considered, Sakura is actually coming through pretty well on this mission. It actually kind of reminds me that we never really got to see too many missions with Team 7 back in their heyday as just actual ninjas before we got into all the crazy magic stuff. So seeing Sasuke and Sakura on an actual ninja mission is actually kind of fascinating. Sasuke tells Gigi, can we keep it between us that Sakura is my wife? Gigi says, yeah, no prob, I get it. If the cat got out of the bag about her being hitched to an inmate, she'd probably lose the job. Still can't get over you being married though. You should have mentioned it sooner. Sasuke says, you never asked. And Gigi says, yeah, but the topic definitely came up. Sasuke then asks Gigi, you said something about a fiancé, right? Gigi smiles and says, yep, she's working in Ridaku's capital. And as soon as I've done my time here, we're tying the knot. Oh, another example that prisons should be places for rehabilitation. There should be a life for people who pay their dues and do their time and yada yada yada. Sasuke questions though, do you really think a married couple should always be together? Gigi says, no doubt about it. I mean, the doc made her way to this joint just to be around you, right? Sasuke says, maybe. I was just wondering. I suppose I am always away from home a lot. Oh, I'm actually kind of loving this moment. Gigi says, oh yeah? What counts as a lot? Sasuke explains, well, there were periods where I was gone for years at a time. Gigi's taken off guard saying, you kidding me? Man, if I was her, I'd assume we were over. Finito. Done. Yeah. And Sasuke says, what? Why? It's like, it really does put it into perspective that Sakura really had to understand that Sasuke didn't see a problem with him just being gone for a long periods of time, because he was off on missions, Very similar to kind of veteran soldiers going out into the field and only being back after years. But Gigi says, why not? You said you left her for years. Sasuke explains, I don't just pick up and leave without cause. She has her duties in the village and I have mine beyond our borders. Gigi explains, I don't know, man. What if some flirt started coming around while you were gone, and you don't use wedding rings where you come from, yeah? The ring provides some peace of mind at least. Sasuke thinks about it and says, I see. Unrelated, but tell me, Gigi, have you heard of something called the Map of Heavens? A book, maybe? Back on mission already. Gigi thinks and says, Map of Heaven. Nah, it doesn't ring a bell. Maybe it's some sort of astronomy thing based on the name? You might find it in the library. You should ask Penzila. Sasuke questions why. Then Gigi freezes and says, Wait, you really don't know? Sasuke questions it. You didn't see Sasuke heading to a rather large building, and it is a massive library. Like, this is a full-on library. And several inmates are all just reading. Wow. I mean, this is an observatory, right? Okay, I guess it makes a degree of sense. Maybe it's another way of them gaining funding for their observations. Oh, and there's Sakura in there with the inmate. He seems to be checking out a book, and Sasuke goes on the other side of the bookshelf saying, One of my cellmates is a library attendant. He's a gambling fiend. If I bait him with a wager, there's no doubt he'd take it. Sakura says he must be the one sitting over there. And sure enough, there's Penzila playing cards. Sasuke says, yeah, that's him. He could be the key to the map of the heavens. Interesting. Okay, so it's good that some of the inmates have really had a purpose as a whole. Gigi's been a good source of just information in general, and so Penzila's gonna play a part. But it's obvious that there's something up about the old man Gano. Like, I don't know. He's been the real mysterious element in all of this, outside of Zansuli, you know? I didn't think Penzila was gonna be anything relevant, but hey, I'm glad they're actually doing that. It's funny, even the guy from the first chapter that Sasuke captured and then ended up in the same joint as him had served a purpose, an example of how people die at the hands of Menno. But seriously, I love the espionage element here. Thank you! Like, don't get me wrong. I love the battles, I love the fights, but this takes me back to the simpler days of Naruto. You need to understand, I started reading Naruto the first volume that came out in America. Not, I think, immediately when it came out, but pretty close. I'm pretty sure I read it in like 2004, 2005. You know, it's one of those things where, yes, the series has become so cool and action-packed, and ninjas with Dragon Ball Z fights, leveling mountain ranges, and yada yada yada. But we know that Sasuke has just been out on multiple missions over the years. Hell, that was the whole basis behind the Stardust story. That her father was away for a good long time. To the point where Sarada questioned who her father was, who her mother was, yada yada yada. Her whole entire reality just shifting around her. But Sasuke wasn't just out there just leveling places left, right, and center. He was gathering information, getting intel, making sure everything was okay out there in the world. Sussing out the Leaf Village's enemies. He's honestly kind of doing Danzo's thing, but doing it more directly. Putting it all on his own shoulders instead of creating an organization who shoulders that. And I believe that Sasuke is in kind of danger because he's not trying to rock the boat too much. A lot of bad situations keep coming about because it's just like he's not trying to create too much of a situation. Yeah, I believe he could take out Menno? Yeah, easily. But he's not trying to do that. Because again, this is a prison, and he's not trying to destabilize the way of life here. Menno only attacks those who are doing things they aren't supposed to do. Like, hell, trying to escape. I mean, that's the thing. Now, the conditions of the place, not the greatest. The way they have the workers labor away, that's a bit of an issue. But again, criminals. And the fact that they're able to have moments like this where they're just out playing cards, an entire library where they're offered to read whatever they want, could be a lot worse. But again, could be a lot better. It doesn't seem like they bathe too often, honestly. It's funny too, because a lot of people felt some kind of way after Sasuke's attempt to destroy the village and all that. So it's just like, hey, if you ever thought he should have been locked away, here he is in a prison. But again, I love seeing Sasuke doing more covert work. I love seeing Sakura also doing the covert work, showing off why she's useful in that kind of degree, because she's so smart. She's smart. She's capable, especially with medical knowledge. This is good stuff. I really enjoyed this. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you happy that Sasuke and Sakura are teaming up for this mission? Or do you wish it was a full-on Sasuke solo side story? And what does Panzilla know? Who is he really? No spoilers, but leave your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. But also remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on the next one. But until that next one, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.